I'm looking at this camera without my glasses, like, oh my God, is it me that can't see, or the camera for the phone is dirty? So I wipe it, everything still looks the same. So I guess my eyes are just like that. We're gonna talk again some Dominica Patois Creole. Let us get together and have some fun. Let us talk about Creole while I take my makeup off. My great grandmother, I used to call her Manna. That's by my mother's side. And my grandmother, by father's side, I used to call her Dada. And you can tell they were from different parts of Africa. Those two women. They were so different. Dada was very dark, tall, slim, beautiful. And that's my Dada for sure. I mean, Dada never forget me no matter where she went, whether she went market or to the garden on her way back. She make sure I had something from her on her way back home. She would make sure if she went Roseau, which is the where she went to the market to sell food, she would make sure when the truck passing back or the bus, she would have them stop by my house and she'd call me, Vil, Dada Nike Shoibao. I mean, she called by my nickname, Vil. Well, her nickname to me. And she would say, Dada have something for you. It was cake. It was cake. She always brought me cake, something delicious to eat, you know. Stuff you only afford once in a while. That's what she brought me. And it was always good. Oh my God. I'd leave the house, my mom's house, and head down by Dada and go just, go visit. I had an aunt. She passed away, what? Is it a year? A year now? No, 2 years. 2 years now. She passed away August. And she was born dumb. When I say dumb, she couldn't talk. But you could not mess with her. You could not mess with my aunt. We call her Mumu. I call her Mumu. Mumu did not play. Mumu was strict. Mumu was nice. She loved me to death. I mean, beautiful, beautiful lady. And because she couldn't talk, she would make, noise with her mouth. But the noise she make was stuff, if you hang out long enough with her, you'll understand what she's trying to tell you. And when she see me, it would always be excitement. It's like for some reason we were connected in some kind of way. And she'd be like, oh, 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 oh. She, like that's excitement of seeing me. And I would ask her, Mumu, kisaye, 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 and she'd be like, oh, 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 oh. She's telling me, I'm happy to see you, I'm happy to see you. But I would sit with her, I would hug her, we would talk. She always tell me, she always tell me, be good, listen to your mother, be good, listen to your mother all the time. Every time I see and we talk, she always tell me that. She say, be good and listen to your mother. So that was one of my aunts. She passed, like I say, recently. But oh my God, she was adorable. She was adorable. When I went down in 2016, I went to visit her. I wanted to see her because I know I don't go Dominica often and I don't know when I was gonna go back. So I had to go see her. When I went to see her, she had aged, You don't see the people you love like they age until you see them. So when I saw her, I realized, oh my God, she has aged, she's getting older, but she was still there. So I went to her and I sat down because one of my other aunts, I asked them, they were downstairs. I say, where is Mumu? And they say, upstairs. And I went upstairs and they had already tell me her vision was poor. So it was very sad to see her. It even brings tears to my eyes now talking about it. I cried then and I'm still tearing up now. So I say, Mumu, Usaf Kimunsaye. I'm asking her, do you know who this is? And she's like, And I know it's because of her poor vision and she haven't seen me in years. I mean, many, many years she haven't seen me. And I said, Zanfan John Vilna. And she and my father, they're like this. So when I mention who it is and stuff like that, the tears came coming down her eyes. The tears came down my eyes too. Talking about it breaks my heart. It still brings me pain but joy because we were tight. A lot of people I don't think knew that. But I mean, and she looks so much like my grandmother, a lot like my grandmother. Whenever she saw me, she'd ask me, Dada Savula, in her language, like, she does her stuff. And I'd be like, no. And then she and I would walk to my grandmother in the kitchen and stuff like that. And my grandmother she was always happy to see me. And so was Mumu. And in 2016, when I sat next to her, I noticed her eyes were bad. She was losing her sight. And I sat next to her and I told her, and I was talking to her first and she didn't cry. She asking me like, who are you? Who are you? Like, ooh. I'm like, Mumu Vilna Zanfan John. And she just hugged me. She hugged me. And we just stayed there and hugged each other for a while. And I had always loved her. And I told her, every time I met her when I was a kid, I would always tell her, I love you, auntie. But that day in 2016, in December 2016, I hugged her and I tell her, I love you. I say, I don't know when I'm ever going to come back. I don't know if I'm ever going to see you again because I've been gone for a long time. And she's like, like, yes, you've been gone for a long time. And I kissed her on both cheeks and I hug her and I tell her I'm leaving, but I don't know if I'll ever see her again. And I left and she passed in 2021. I didn't think I was going to cry. This is just happy memories from Dominica. And that one was recent. I just had to talk about her because, I mean, she had kids. She was fine. She did very well and stuff like that. But, with age and everything, we are just passing through. But that's my little story with my Aunt Mumu that have since passed. But I loved her and she loved me and we knew that, each of us. Okay, face is washed. The story about my aunt Mumu is not a sad story. It just makes me cry knowing that she's no longer here. And all the, joy when I was a little kid growing up and I would meet her, I would go down by my grandmother and, we sit. I always sit right next to her. I didn't sit sideways. I sit next to her and she would talk, in her own language because, like I said, she was born, she couldn't talk. But she adapted, that stuff and she knew how to put it into words so you can understand her. So when I tell you these stories, I never know where it's going. I don't know if I'm going to cry. I don't know. It just happens, because she was my aunt, for God's sake. And she was my aunt. And I guess all the happy memories just brought tears. And that is okay too. You can release what you have holding. But my aunt was very, very, smart. for somebody that didn't talk and she didn't put up with nonsense. She used to tell me, if you misbehave, I will put you on my lap and I'll pow, pow, pow you. She used to tell me that. I'm like, you can't catch me. She's like, try me. She's like, oh, oh. I'm like, Mumu, you would hit me? She's like, uh-huh. But I mean, Mumu was something of a beautiful black woman, which was my aunt. Looked like my grandmother so much. She has beautiful children, my cousins. But that's why I always say make memories. Life is short. You just never know. You never, never, never know what's going to happen. So you have to be making memories, living life the best way you know how. Because before you blink, it's gone. Before you blink, it's gone. So make memories, live life. And that was that for my Dominica story. I have so many stories. I tell you, God make no mistakes. He puts you somewhere where you belong. Even though you think you didn't belong there, it is just no way. Because if you look back at your life and the memories and everything else in your life, check and see and point out where God take you from one thing to the next. And look at your life and then point and look and see where when God told you something, you did not listen. And then we blame God and say, oh, it's God's fault, but the message was there all along. We just decided to do our own thing. So make memories, enjoy life. Life is short. Live it to the best way possible.